Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, everybody? Happy you guys are joining me in my live stream today. Obviously, got off to a little bit of a late start because your boy is hung the fuck over. Holy shit, I am hungover as hell. Um, Obviously, as you can tell, because if you guys follow me on Twitter, don't have a lot of sleeper picks this week. I didn't post a lot on Twitter this week, given the fact that yeah, one of my best friends in the whole world just got married last night. So yeah, we're struggling today, but that's okay. And again, as always, chat, just let me know what you guys got going on in terms of your fantasy football lineups, but help me with audio too. If if you guys can hear me all right, then we're good. And if not, then hey, we adjust on the fly. Clark Schuyler, what's up, man? Good morning to you. So yeah, I will get to some of my sleepers here because I know that that's why we're here. We're talking some sleepers. We're talking lineup questions, stuff like that. So um, I will get to as many of these as you. Clark, I wasn't expecting you on today. Yep, I hear you, bro. Listen, man, I hear you. I was hurting last night, hurting. Oh boy. Let me get some of my sleepers though. I've got Gardner Minshew as a sleeper today, taking on the Tampa Bay Bucks. Bucks are real banged up in their secondary, actually, guys. So they've allowed the second most fantasy points per game to quarterbacks over the last 8 weeks, and for the past 2 months, they have been getting blasted on the regular. 4 of the last 6 quarterbacks they have faced have posted 300 plus yards and 2+ touchdowns. 4 of the last 6 quarterbacks they have seen have again posted 300 plus yards and 2+ touchdowns. We're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and if I am not mistaken, I believe the Bucks are pretty banged up in their secondary as well. I know that Carlton Davis is playing today, but I think he did come in with an injury designation. Levante David, of course, their outstanding middle linebacker, or excuse me, outside linebacker, is out today. Who else was I looking at? Oh, Jamel Dean. Yeah, he's out. And then who else do they have? Devin White. I think was no, he's active today, but he was a DNP with a foot issue on Wednesday and Thursday. Their defense is really banged up, and also, as I mentioned, they've just been getting lit up recently as well. So Gardner Minshew, especially in a DFS environment, if you kind of like that like crazy play, go ahead and give it to Gardner Minshew as a cheap option at quarterback in DFS this week. But I do have him as a sleeper in standard redraft as well. Yo, I have Matt Stafford as a deep sleeper against Arizona. And you're saying, wait, Matt Stafford's a deep sleeper? Yeah, he's a deep sleeper because, dude, this dude has been outside the top 20 in both for quarterbacks in both total points and fantasy points per game. So Stafford's really, really struggled this year from a fantasy perspective. He only has one game where he's had more than one touchdown. So he's not been good in fantasy at all. Okay, now that being said, the matchup, man, it's awesome. Absolutely awesome matchup against Arizona. As the Cardinals have allowed a 72% completion rate. That's the worst in the NFL over the last 8 weeks. 8.02 yards per attempt allowed. That's third worst again over the last 2 months. Arizona also dead last in quarterback pressure rate per fantasy points data. I think Stafford's got a really good chance to again post a really, really big number. So again, just if you're looking for quarterbacks here with some teams on a bye, maybe you've got guys that are injured, maybe you don't like the guys that you've got in there thus far. Matt Stafford, Gardner Minshew, 2 sleepers I really like this week. All right, hold on 1 second, guys. For everyone just joining me, if I sound like shit, it's because I feel like shit. I feel like absolute dog water, baby. But that's okay. We're here. We're doing our thing. Anyways, all right. I see some questions now into the chat here, which is great. Let's go. Rashad White, Kyron Williams in a PPR Superflex as your RB2 spot. Okay. Rashad White, I'm a little bit worried about. He's got a great matchup, obviously. But I'm a little bit worried because of the injury that he got late in the week, right? I really like Kyron Williams. I think he'll be fine. And again, against that Arizona defense, that's pretty good. I think you've got a really, really good matchup there and a good spot for Kyron Williams. So I'll go ahead and take Kyron Williams there. And I would say pretty easily, even though I know Rashad White's been incredible from a fantasy perspective. I just, again, not trusting. I am not trusting that late week injury for Rashad White. So go ahead and give me Kyron Williams. I was trying to pull up some data here for Kyron Williams, which again I really like his matchup. Over the last 8 weeks, Arizona has given up the second most fantasy points per game to the running back position. They've given up, what is it, the fourth most total yards and the third most total touchdowns to running back. I think Kyron Williams absolutely smashes today too. Why? Because they're also going to get him hopefully involved in the passing game, where the Cardinals have given up an 86% completion rate to opposing running backs over the last 8 weeks. Again, all the matchup data tells me Kyron Williams, even if Rashad White was fully healthy, I would take Kyron Williams ahead of Rashad White. And again, I get it. Rashad White has been fantastic, especially over these last few weeks here. Jeff Baker, what's going on, man? Good morning to you, pal. You've got a champagne problem in PPR. You got to sit one. Bijan, Pacheco, Jalen Warren. Yeah, I like them all, right? If I had to sit one, I'm probably going to sit. I'm not sitting Pacheco. I'm probably sitting Jalen Warren of the three. You're leaning Bijan with the Saints D. That's not bad. That's not bad. You're going to ride Warren's hot hand. Yeah, see, it's interesting, right? These are all three really good options. So I wish I had a clear answer for you. I would probably sit down Jalen Warren because I think of the three offenses, I'm probably worried about the health of Pittsburgh's offense more than anything else. Let me pull up one thing here on Cincinnati, though. Obviously, their their defense is a little bit compromised, and obviously their offense is really compromised. I do have Jalen Warren as a strong start this week, though. The Bengals, of course, have given up what is it, the 11th most fantasy points per game over the last 8 weeks to running backs. What else? What other data we got here? In regards to explosive run rate, third worst in this stretch. By the way, all the information I'm going to give you guys is based off the last 8 weeks. Okay, 8 weeks is what we're going off of here today. So, by the way, so like Denver obviously doesn't have that Miami game on their schedule over the last 8 weeks. So it kind of sort of normalizes, I think, what we're looking at. So, okay, so yeah, they haven't really been good against the run, man. 4.61 yards per carry allowed to opposing running backs in Cincinnati. So maybe it is Jalen Warren. Maybe we're sitting down. Maybe we're sitting down Bijan against that New Orleans Saints D. I kind of, now that I'm kind of going through some of this data, I'm kind of with you, Jeff. I think maybe we sit down. Bijan. Although again, out of the passing game, you're hoping Bijan's probably going to get some work. And yeah, Pacheco's got scoring problems. But hey man, listen, I just think Pacheco gets in there this week. Against Las Vegas, he's got a really, really great matchup, and they should have a pretty nice lead. I think there's going to be plenty of scoring opportunities for Pacheco. I'll go ahead and stick with Pacheco, I think, this week. I'm not scared off of last week. I thought he was running really, really well. I thought he looked great, man. So yeah, go ahead and give me. I'll stick with Pacheco this week, and I think yeah, you're talking about Bijan here, which is tough for Jalen Ward, but yeah, obviously they utilize him in a weird way in Atlanta. I think you've talked me into it. You've talked me into sitting Bijan of that three. All right, Clark, man, I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, man. If you guys would like and subscribe, obviously, to the channel, that would help me. That would help me greatly. Man, today we are just getting through it, man. This is this is about as bad as I felt post drinking in a long, long time. Um, yeah, not feeling great right now, which is okay. We're gonna work through it here, so it's good. Uh, yeah, man, I'm trying, man. I'm trying my best. Devin Singletary or James Cook. This is from Johnson 10. Good morning to you, pal. Devin Singletary, James Cook, two tough matchups. Devin has a decent, what is it? Decent chance to fall into the end zone. Eagles seem scary. We're talking about James Cook here, right? Yeah, it's the Eagles, of course, have been really tough against running backs. Hold on, I'll pull it up here for you. Barred last week, of course, where they were getting trampled a little bit, which is weird. But yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles have allowed the fewest fantasy points per game to the running back position. James Cook obviously is not utilized that heavily in this offense. I think he's been playing pretty good football, real life football, but from a fantasy perspective, they just don't use him enough, right? So I'm not loving Devin Singletary, especially with Pacheco back. It's probably going to be a little bit of a 50-50 split there in Houston. But I will say this: I think that's going to be a shootout. I think that game looks like, to me, anyways, a high scoring game when we're talking about Jacksonville taking on Houston, right? So Jacksonville's defense has not been great. Uh, and again, I don't think Houston's defense is anything to write home about either. So I think they've been about. I would say Houston's probably closer to league average, right? Jacksonville's, I would say, a little bit below league average. Uh, and maybe I'm overselling them here because they're probably, yeah, they are definitely a below average unit across the board, both on the run and against the pass, man. So I kind of sort of, I might leave Devin Singletary there. Obviously he's been great the last 2 weeks. And Dameon Pierce, who is supposedly healthy, is going to be, in a 50-50 split. But don't be surprised if Devin Singletary takes home, 55 to 60% of the offensive snaps there. So I'll take Singletary in what I think is going to be a higher scoring game. Again, Philadelphia is probably not a matchup I want to test James Cook on. So yeah, I'll go ahead and yeah, I think you're right there because Devin probably does have a decent chance to fall into the end zone in what I think is going to be a higher scoring affair. We got Jack Lucinet in the building, fantasy football joker. What's up, man? Good to see you. Happy belated Thanksgiving to you as well. PPR tight end. What do we got? Tight end premium. Should you start Isaiah Likely? Yes. Start Isaiah Likely. I like Jonnu Smith. I've got him listed as a sleeper this week against New Orleans, but I really like Isaiah Likely. I've got him as a borderline smash start here. Hold on, let me pull it up because the Chargers defensively they stink, dude. Hey, listen, this team, the Chargers, they've given up on their coach. Okay, defensively they're just not very good. But you want to start Isaiah Likely. Obviously, Mark Andrews is banged up. The Chargers have given up the third best fantasy points per game to the tight end position over the last 3 weeks. Yards per target, man, 8.86 yards per target allowed to tight end over the last 8 weeks. That is fifth worst. And dude, they have given up an 82.8% catch rate to the tight end position. That's second worst in the NFL. And of course, the second most yards, third most receptions to tight ends in that time span as well. Yeah, you want to play Isaiah Likely. Hold on, guys. Not going to make you listen to it. Hold on. Oh, here we are. Here we are. This is what happens when when one of your best friends in the whole world gets married on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And of course, I've got my Sunday morning stream going on too. But thank God I didn't have work today. I don't consider this work. I like talking to you guys, man. We're having fun out here. This is good, but I get it, man. This is not pleasant, not the most pleasant of mornings here, but that's okay. We're working. So yeah, Jack Lucinet, fantasy football joker. 100%. Definitely going Isaiah Likely there, even though Jonnu Smith has been a featured player. And by the way, I do have Jonnu Smith as a sleeper this week as well. David Terrell, let's go. Good morning to you, buddy. Devontae Smith or Chase, Jamar Chase, full PPR. Yeah, this is a tough one. Of course, you would almost always say Jamar Chase. Jake Browning there, the quarterback for Cincinnati. What are we working with here in regards to Chase? It's tough, right? Devontae Smith, meanwhile, is second fiddle for a Philadelphia team. Oh, you know what? Let me look up some data here for you. Um, okay, I got you. I got you. Devontae Smith. Um, Buffalo Bills have been not great against outside wide receivers. They're about league average, though. They're about league average. I'm looking across the board on outside wide receivers. They allow a 66.7% catch rate. That is what, seventh worst in the NFL over the last 8 weeks. But again, about league average in regards to receptions and yards allowed to the outside wide receivers. I do think too, by the way, that AJ Brown is probably on the come up this week because obviously he didn't do jack squat last week, which hurt, which hurt really bad. Jamar Chase, meanwhile, man, I don't know. How do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about Jamar Chase this week? Obviously Cincinnati's taking on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is an interesting one because they've got one corner who is not very good, and then they've got one corner who is really, really, really good. So when talking about outside cornerbacks here for Pittsburgh, hold on, I'll pull it up. But where are we here? Come on, let's go, Pittsburgh. Let me get that Pittsburgh data, baby. Okay, here we go. Joey Porter has been absolutely fantastic for the Pittsburgh Steelers. As a matter of fact, over the last 8 weeks, I have him graded out as the top outside corner in the NFL. That's how good he's been. Joey Porter has been outstanding. Levi Wallace, Patrick Peterson over the last 8 weeks, they've been not so good. They've been, again, below average in regards to their coverage scores across the board. So, yeah, man, it's interesting. Jamar Chase is in a tough spot. T. Higgins is out. Obviously, you're anticipating a ton of volume. This one's tough. You know what? I actually am gonna go Jamar Chase just because I think we'll just go old school. And then we're just gonna go old school targets, We're just gonna say, hey, listen, Jamar Chase is gonna see 10 plus targets. Is it yes or no? Jamar Chase, 10 plus targets. I think the answer has to be yes, right? With no T. Higgins. So go ahead, give me Jamar Chase, 10 plus targets against anybody. Screw it. I don't, and by the way, I don't think Jake Browning's a nothing. I think Jake Browning's not, he's not Joe Burrow, but I mean, he's not a nothing. Okay. So I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Go ahead and give me Jamar Chase. Yeah, right, exactly. Hard to convince yourself to bench Chase. But again, like I said, I think we'll go with the old school targets, man. And then we just go with the old school targets, We just say, all right, wait, the guy's going to see double-digit targets, great player. And I think he'll be fine. So let's go Jamar Chase out there. But Devontae Smith obviously is a great is a great option as well. All right, here we go, Johnny Green. You've got Jamar and Olave as your wide receivers. Taylor, Pacheco as your running backs. This is a great team. Gee whiz. Bijan last flex spot. Josh Jacobs, Downs on the bench in PPR. Any shifting around? No. I think you're set. I would maybe consider Josh Jacobs ahead of Pacheco. I think that's it. I think you're set though. I think you're looking good. Actually, as a matter of fact, I would play Josh Jacobs over Pacheco. I think we're good. I think we're good there. I do really like Pacheco this week, though. Golly. So maybe I'm not as confident in saying that, but yeah, maybe. So you've got JT in there, which is good. Yeah, you know what? Stick with this lineup, dude. Stick with this lineup. I think this is a good gut call. I like it. I like it overall. I like Downs too a lot, guys. But by the way, Downs and people, have you guys seen Downs' price in DFS? Sub 5,000 in DFS. That doesn't make sense. He's an auto play in DFS environments because he's so cheap. It's crazy. Go ahead and yeah, I like where your head's at, Johnny Grant. I think you're good. I think you're good, dude. Yeah, you didn't like Jacobs' chance. I think they're going to stack the box. You really can't stack the box with Devontae out there though. I don't know. Jacoby's playing really good football too. I just don't think you can stack the box that way. I guess you could. You want to go one-on-one on the outside, man-to-man coverage. I mean, I guess you could go zone coverage over the top or something, but bring a safety down over the top and just shade. You could cover three, go cover three, shade over the top where Devontae is. Jacoby goes crazy, or Jacoby Myers goes crazy. I don't know. I don't know. But I don't think they're going to stack the box. I don't know. I just don't see it. I think defensively, I think they've been fine in their base packages, Kansas City. So I think they'll be good. Here we go. Doug Higginbotham, full PPR. Love it. I love the name, man. As somebody whose last name is just three letters, this is why I try to pronounce all the last names. I like all the last names, man. Full PPR. You need one out of Drake London, Cooper, Amari Cooper, Judy, and Pop Demario Douglas. Oh, golly. I think I have Judy as a fade this week, guys. Hold on. Let me take a look. Pretty sure I do, as a matter of fact. Denver, Cleveland. Yeah, we've got Judy as a hard fade. Cleveland's been really tough, obviously defensively, but against the slot, they've been really, really tough. They allow a 60.5% catch rate to the slot. That's sixth best over the last 8 weeks. They've allowed the ninth fewest receptions and the sixth fewest receiving yards per game over the last couple of months here has Cleveland. So they've been a really, really tough matchup. I think it's a little bit easier on the outside than it is on the inside against Cleveland. I think I think he's a solid start, but I would fade Judy. So I'm going to go ahead and take Judy out of this equation, Doug. And then I think Drake London's probably the call. Cooper is going to see, again, most likely, what's he going to see? 8+ targets in what could be a really low scoring game. I'm not loving it. I think Atlanta taking on New Orleans this week. To me, it feels like that's going to be a little bit of a higher scoring game. I know New Orleans can be a tough matchup, but I just saw this right. Like Lattimore just went on IR, right? Is that right? I think I'm pretty damn sure I saw that. So yeah, I think overall, I'm trying to look this up right now. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Anyways, I think London will be fine. Go ahead and give me Drake London of those three. I don't love it, guy. I mean, listen, obviously I don't love it, but I like the matchup a little bit more. I view London and Cooper in that same bucket of receivers, so I'll go with the game that I think has a higher point total, which means higher touchdown upside in Drake London there. All right, so we're about 30 minutes in, man. If you guys, again, if you're just joining us, which is cool, that's great. I love it. Appreciate y'all. But yeah, if you guys want to like and subscribe to the channel, that'd be dope as well. So would very much appreciate that. So yeah, we're off and running, dude. We're going. So if you guys obviously have start sit questions, obviously throw them into the chat. I try to get to them as fast as possible. All right, here we go. Second Caldera. Hope I'm not too hungover. Yeah, listen, dude, I'm hurting, dog. We're down bad over here, bro. We're hurting. It's all good. Josh Downs, James. Oh, Josh Downs. Josh Downs has been awesome, dudes. Josh Downs has been great. He's been a great football player. James Cook, as we talked about a little earlier in the chat, taking on Philadelphia. Philadelphia has allowed the fewest fantasy points per game to the running back position over the last 8 weeks. So, I'm going to go ahead and stick with my guy, Josh Downs, who's been great. Here we go. Yeah, Clark, listen, dude, if I had to do a 7-hour shift to Fantasy Zone, first of all, I would do it because I got that dog in me. Okay. But I wouldn't be enjoying life. I would not be enjoying life. Not at all. Not at all. We're getting through it today, though, dude. It's all good. All right. Yeah. See, A1, you're right, dude. Chase, no Higgins. They got to throw to Chase 15 times. I probably want to go 15. Okay. Not with Jake Browning back there, but you're right. 10 plus. I mean, 10 plus targets for Jamar Chase. I don't care if the matchup's bad, good, whatever. Great player. Is Jamar Chase going to see 10 plus targets? I think we're all right. I think we're good. Clark Schuyler, 32 teamer. All these, look at all these scoring little things going on. OBJ, I love OBJ this week, guys. Love OBJ. Spears is a deep sleeper for me against Carolina, who's got the worst rush defense in the NFL. But I really like OBJ taking on the Chargers. Again, the Chargers feel like they've just given up. At least defensively, anyways, they've given up, right? So hold on. I'll look this up here for you. Chargers have been real bad. They've given up the eighth most fantasy points per game to outside wide receivers. I've got Odell as a very strong start this week. They've given up the 8th most receptions, the 9th most yards per game to outside wide receivers. And yeah, they're below average across the board defensively. I think, again, I really like Odell's chances, who, by the way, he's coming on, right? Like he's playing a lot stronger. He's looking a little smoother, a little choppier too, right? Right where it counts at the stem of his routes, looking pretty good. And remember, he didn't play football last year. So if he's rounding into form in week 12, yeah, that seems to make sense. I don't know. But yeah, I like Odell in this for these choices here. Elijah Moore versus Denver's fine, but they just throw to him at the line of scrimmage. He's got no chance unless he like breaks tackles, which that's not what he does. But Tajay Spears, obviously a deep sleeper, but still a deep sleeper. I think Derrick Henry. I would hope listen, if Derrick Henry doesn't go for 100 today, I would be freaking shocked. By the way, you want to talk about DFS? Yo, Derrick Henry is so cheap in DFS considering the matchup. Tennessee wants to run this ball, and they want to run it extensively, and they're doing it with a guy who I think still has some juice left. And meanwhile, he's taking on the worst rush defense in the NFL. So yeah, I think Derrick Henry's going to go crazy. Spears has got a chance. He's probably going to get 10 to 12 touches today too. He's going to go crazy too. So or could anyways. He's got deep sleeper potential. So I like both those guys there. But yeah, in regards to this one though, you want to talk about touchdown upside? OBJ's got it against the Chargers. So I really like that call quite a bit. All right. Let's see. What else we got? Paul DeSantis. You've got 2. Kyler or T. Law at quarterback. Taysom or Chris Godwin in the second flex. Oh, interesting. I like Chris Godwin. I mean, I know. Listen, when you've got Taysom Hill, and he could go for 20 at any point, but he could also give you 5. I think I might take the safety of Chris Godwin here. I know Chris Godwin hasn't been gangbusters by any stretch of the imagination, but it just feels like in this matchup, especially this week, I think he's got a good one. So hold on, I'll look this up here for you too. Tampa Bay. Where are we going? Against Indianapolis, the Colts. So, by the way, they don't line up. Excuse me. They don't line up Godwin as much inside as an inside wide receiver as years past. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw that Chris Godwin is lining up outside like 67%, maybe a little bit more. Now I'm curious, just because I said that. How much do they line up Chris Godwin outside? Chris Godwin. Okay. They line up Chris Godwin outside 65% of the time. And just inside 35%. So interesting stuff there in regards to Chris Godwin. I think in years past, yeah. So like last year, for example, in 2022, he lined up inside 75% of the time, right? So they're using him outside 65% of the time this year versus last year, they lined him up outside 30% of the time. So more than double his outside rate. Are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers using Chris Godwin? So I found that to be really, really interesting. So because I was putting my data together, I'm like, oh, every time I look up slot matchups, I don't have Godwin in there. And and it was surprising me. Anyway, so yeah, so what are we doing on the outside here against Indianapolis? Um, boom, boom, boom. Pull this up for you. Colts on the outside, they're about league average in terms of points allowed to the outside wide receiver. Oh, this is what I wrote this though. It's a little bit more luck than skill. So they've played Carolina. They've got no one outside. Olave dropped a potential touchdown to the outside. Amari Cooper had Deshaun Watson go down mid game. So I actually have this as a plus matchup here, but I do like it for Mike Evans a lot more than for Chris Godwin. Um, so you know, I'm giving you all this data and it's hemming and hawing about who I want to go, Taysom Hill or Chris Godwin. Listen, I still like Chris Godwin ahead of Taysom Hill here, but obviously you could get burned because Hill's just an X factor, a complete X factor. But I like Chris Godwin there. Again, against the Indianapolis Colts secondary, I think it's a pretty good matchup for Chris Godwin. Okay, Kyler or T. Law. Again, I listen. I think this game, Houston versus Jacksonville, it's got shootout potential written all over it. Right? In DFS, by the way, my stack is that Houston stack, right? So CJ Stroud with Nico and Tank Dell. But if you are expecting those guys to go off, you kind of sort of think that Jacksonville is going to go off a little bit too. It's not like Houston's a shutdown D, right? So I think overall, I like the matchup for Trevor Lawrence. It's really hard because Kyler is Kyler and he's going to run around like a madman. But let me hold on. Let me look up one thing here for the LA Rams. Um, LA Rams. Here we go. They have given up the fifth most fantasy points per game to quarterbacks over the last 8 weeks. So I did have Kyler as a strong start here. But yeah, man, I think I like Trevor Lawrence just a little bit more. If there is a player that I think's got 3 touchdown potential this week, it might be Lawrence ahead of Kyler. I think Kyler's going to give you a better floor, obviously, with some of his rushing potential. So it really depends on what you're going for. If you like that floor, go ahead and give me Kyler. I do think, though, that Trevor Lawrence gives you 3 touchdown potential in what I think could be a potential shootout against Houston. So I know I was hemming and hawing here. These are tough. It's a tough match or a tough question and tough choice between both of those spots. But I'll go T. Law and I will go Chris Godwin. Right there. Clark Scholar, I was talking up Stafford earlier. Yeah, so same game here, right? We're talking LA versus the Rams versus the Cardinals. Do I like Stafford over T. Law or Stroud? Absolutely not. Nope. Stroud over T. Law. Yeah, I think so. I'm going to go Stroud over T. Law. He's been on fire. And Jacksonville's defense, I don't think is very good. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and take Stroud. They're playing at home too, by the way. So the friendly confines, I kind of sort of like Stroud a little bit ahead of Trevor Lawrence. Where are we going? Here we go. Titus of all time. I love it. I love the screen name. Full PPR. Zay Flowers, Josh Downs, Joe Mixon, or Ramondre. Wow. You got a deep team. This is a very deep team. This one's tough. I think if you're listen, first of all, I love Josh Downs, but I probably rank him last. God, do I though? I think Mixon's probably your safest bet. Okay. He's going to get the work. Cincinnati's going to lean on the run with Jake Browning under center. So they're going to give Mixon the ball. Mixon's going to get 20 touches today. It just has to happen. So I would say he's your safe play. And I think I might just go there overall. I think I might just go ahead and go Mixon. Again, Cincinnati taking on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh against the run has been league average in regards to fantasy points allowed to the running back position over the last 8 weeks. Hold on, but let me look up something here. Yards per carry, 3.8 yards per carry allowed to running backs. That's 10th best. So that's not great. They're sixth best in terms of yards after contact allowed. And then middle of the road when we're talking about explosive run rates and run stuff rate. So Pittsburgh defensively, at least from a running back position, has been pretty sound. But it's not like, again, you can run on them a bit just through volume because their offense is so bad that teams are just, again, dedicating more and more run attempts against Pittsburgh. I think Mixon's going to see, 20 plus touches in a neutral matchup. That's pretty good. Ramondre obviously has the Giants. I actually have Ramondre on one of my DFS teams because, again, very affordably priced, good matchup against the Giants. Again, you figure all the quarterback issues they've got there in New England, they're probably going to try to establish a run. That would make a lot of sense, right? So Ramondre is going to get some work there too. But I think if we're chasing upside, full PPR, go ahead and give me Zay Flowers. If we're chasing upside, but I think Mixon for the floor. I like Flowers for the upside. So if that's what you're going for, I think we're good there. By the way, I talked about a great matchup for Baltimore against the Chargers, and yeah, I mean I like Odell as a sleeper, and I just think Zay Flowers is a start. Again, Zay Flowers an absolute start, but against Mixon, okay, now we're talking, right? Like this is a tough decision, but overall, I would say Mixon for the floor, Flowers for that upside, and I think Josh Downs probably gives you a little mix of both. Especially in full point PPR, he's going to give you, he's going to give you 9 to 10 points at a minimum. What's the touchdown upside look like though? I don't know. So there you go. Like I said, I think Flowers overall. Highest ceiling. Yeah, highest ceiling of those four. You're 5 and 6. You need a dub. Go ahead and give me Zay Flowers, man. So good luck to you, dude. Good luck. All right, here we go. Plugged in with Jay. What's going on, dude? Love to see you, pal. Cortland Sutton, or Javonte Williams. You can pick him between two Broncos here, huh? All right, full point PPR. Denver taking on Cleveland. So it's a tough matchup. Either way across the board. Sutton, I don't love this week. I like him more than Judy, but I don't love him. Either way, the Cleveland Browns have allowed the ninth fewest fantasy points per game to outside wide receivers. Where are they at here? They have allowed a 54.4% catch rate to outside wide receivers. That is fifth best in the NFL in that time span. Third fewest receptions, 12th fewest yards. So still, again, I still like Sutton more than Judy because it's just as bad, if not just a little bit worse for Judy on the inside. So I don't love it there. In regards to the running backs, though, where are we at with Cleveland? Cleveland. They have allowed the 13th fewest, so about league average in regards to fantasy points allowed to running backs. Let's see here. Where are they at in regards to explosive run rate? Oh, interesting. They've given up. They're the league worst in regards to explosive run rate allowed to running backs over the last 8 weeks. They've given up the worst yards after contact as well. That's interesting. 4.81 yards per carry allowed. That's third worst. I think we've just talked ourselves into Javonte Williams. There you go. Good luck with it, Jay. I think Javonte Williams is the call there. All right, AZ Cardinals. Good to see you this morning. Should I start Nico Collins? Yes. Or DJ Moore against Minnesota? Yes. Dang it. Dang it. Both these guys are great. I like Nico Collins just a little bit more. Jacksonville's outside wide receivers, outside corners are obviously not very good. I'm gonna look this up for you here. Ooh, okay. Jacksonville. Here we go. Jacksonville outside. I've got Nico as a smash start here. Jacksonville has given up the fourth most fantasy points per game to outside wide receivers. They've given up the third most touchdowns. They are bottom 10 in completion rate, yards, and receptions allowed to outside wide receivers. All of it's looking really, really good. So yeah, and again, I know DJ Moore, man. Listen, DJ Moore's got a pretty good matchup against Indianapolis as well. Excuse me, against Minnesota as well. Minnesota has been a little bit better on outside than you would anticipate, especially the way they started the year. But they're about league average in regards to completion rate allowed, 60.2% completion rate allowed to the outside wide receiver. It's about league average, I think, across the board, although that is surprising. I thought Minnesota was way worse to outside wide receivers. And I think from a year-long perspective, they probably are. But over the last 8 weeks, I think they've shored up that defense just a little bit. So but overall, I like the matchup more here for Nico, who I think is going to see anywhere between 8 to 10 targets this week. They have enough targets in that offense, by the way, and I think the game script is going to allow for both Nico and Tank to have good, target shares, target totals overall. So I think both those. By the way, Noah Brown's out again, right? So more targets up for grabs here for both those guys. I like both. And by the way, that's my stack here in DFS this week is going to be Stroud, Nico, and Tank and Tank Dell. So yeah, I like Nico there, man. Good luck to you, dude. Calvin Brown, what's up? 6-point passing touchdown. Kyler or T Law? Like, a lot of Kyler or T Law questions here. Like I said, I think Kyler gives you better floor. T Law, I'll take the upside. I think he gives you a 3-touchdown upside this week in what I anticipate to be a pretty high scoring affair. I don't know. We'll see. Clark Schuyler's got to make a choice between Jake Browning or Desmond Ridder in a super flex. Who's going to suck less? I think Jake Brown is going to suck less, guys. Listen, maybe it's because I'm a Pac-12 Hawk. I don't know. But I don't think Browning is that bad. I'm not saying he's good. I'm just saying I don't think he's that bad. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be okay. Let's go. Michael Parla Greco. What's going on? You need one to flex. Deontay Johnson versus Cincy. D-Hop versus Carolina. Or James Cook against Philadelphia. So I'm probably going D-Hop. I'm going to chase that. I'm going to chase that ceiling, dude. I'm going to chase that ceiling for D-Hop. Carolina's outside corners are not very good. I don't know why they are doing this, but they are obviously trying to establish the goddamn hell out of the run there in Tennessee. But regardless, I think that D-Hop sees 8 plus targets this week. And it's a great matchup against Carolina on the outside. So outside wide receivers, they have given up a 69.6% catch rate to outside wide receivers. That's the third best in the NFL. They just aren't attacked on the outside a lot because their run defense is the most run funnel defense in the NFL. But listen, they're going to throw the ball. Even if you think they throw the ball 25 times, which is nothing. It's nothing. If you think they throw the ball 25 times, D-Hop's seeing 8 targets, So I like his chances of making a big play against this Carolina Panthers secondary. And if I am not mistaken, I'm going to look this up because I'm pretty sure they've got a pretty extensive injury report right now. If I'm not mistaken. Obviously, Hayden Hurst is out with a concussion. Tommy Tremble, deep sleeper. If you guys want like the stone cold cheapest tight end available in DFS, Tommy Tremble, I think is a name to keep in mind. Yeah, so Jeremy Chin, he's out with a quad. One of their starting linebackers is out with a hamstring. CJ Henderson and JC Horn, not going to play. So their secondary is really, really banged up, man. Really banged up. So, yeah, overall, I would say go ahead and give me Nuke Hopkins there, dude. I think I really like his opportunities and his chance to have an explosion game. If you're looking for floor, you just want to get 12 points. Go ahead and give me Deontay Johnson, dude. Cam Taylor-Britt, I think, is out, right, guys? Cam Taylor-Britt, he's out, I believe. Let me look this up. Bengals injury report. I'm like 90% sure. Yeah, he's out. Yeah, Cam Taylor-Britt's got that quad injury. He's out. Cam Taylor-Britt, CTB, bro, has been so good. He has been fantastic. And so I just think, they're just not as good in the secondary with him out. So their numbers look great right now, Cincinnati, against outside wide receivers. But yeah, I think overall, I think if you just want 10 to 12 points, Deontay Johnson's your dude. But if you want a little upside, go ahead and give me D Hop. And obviously, he comes with a scary floor too because Tennessee can't throw the ball right now, or not even that they can't throw the ball. They don't want to throw the ball, which is just bizarre. Anyways, 10 minutes to go here. If you guys want, um, go ahead and ask as many questions as you guys want. I'm going to try to get through as many of these as possible. Here we go. Nikhil Patel. This is tripping me out because one of my best friends in the whole world, his name is Nick Patel. Nikesh Patel, though, not Nikhil. Not Nikhil Patel. Start Kincaid or McBride? Kincaid. I don't know. Kincaid's been too good. I know McBride's going to see a lot of volume and a really good matchup this week, but I'll go ahead and stick with Kincaid. If it's full PPR, McBride's has the safer floor. Kincaid, though, for the upside, dude. I like Kincaid this week quite a bit. Drubly, what's up? Devontae Smith against Buffalo or Thielen against Tennessee in PPR? Again, if we're going floor, give me Thielen. Thielen's been about as consistent as they get. Obviously, touchdown upside doesn't look great. Devontae Smith, if you want some upside, because he's the only guy. I mean, he's got way better touchdown upside against Buffalo in what could be a high scoring game. Could be a really high scoring game. Devontae Smith against Buffalo, right? So, if you want that upside, go ahead and give me Devontae Smith. Thielen, if you want floor, you're getting. You're getting double digit PPR points. Okay, with Adam Thielen, you just know it, right? So you can go ahead and book that, right? But yeah, obviously the upside is not great. Okay, it's not great because the touchdowns are going to be hard to come by. All right, Francisco Marquez. Good morning to you, pal. Javonte or Jalen Warren, full point PPR. I probably trust Javonte a little bit more. Jalen Warren, I think, is probably going to give you a little bit better upside, but we're banking on Jalen breaking one, right, against Cincinnati here. That's generally how it goes, right? So hold on. Running backs, Cincinnati. Okay, here we go. And Cincinnati has allowed. Oh, interesting. Third worst explosive run rate allowed to running backs over the last 8 weeks is Cincinnati. So Jalen Warren, if you're looking for a big play, has a decent chance for a big play because Cincinnati's been giving up explosive runs. So yeah, maybe I go Jalen Warren here. By the way, I do wonder what is Pittsburgh's offense going to look like here now that they don't have Matt Canada. I think they're going to play a little harder. I think they're going to play with a little bit more enthusiasm, passion. I think the play calling will probably be a little bit more sensible. They can't change the playbook. The playbook is the playbook. But play calling and I think passion and obviously execution and stuff like that will be higher. So I'll go ahead and take Jalen Warren there. I'll go chase that upside. I think Javonte for the floor, but Jalen Warren for the upside. But I like the Jalen Warren upside there. Boop, 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 boop. Nikhil Patel again. Mark Andrews possibly out for the season. Taysom Hill. Whom should I grab from Jonnu Smith or Michael Mayer for rest of season? I don't know. I mean, it's probably Jonnu Smith. Obviously hard to trust. But, I mean, at least he gives you upside. So if you're chasing some kind of ceiling, Jonnu Smith at least gives it to you. Michael Mayer's been – I think he's been fine. He's been fine. But, again, look at the passing offense, right? You're going to go to Devontae. You're going to go to Jacoby Myers. Josh Jacobs has got to get his requisite amount of work. What's left on the table here for Michael Mayer? Not that much. So even if he's a good player, this is not that much of that pie left over for Michael Mayer to do anything with, right? So now you've become a completely touchdown-dependent tight end for a team that isn't that great offensively. So I probably take Jonnu Smith if you're chasing some kind of ceiling. Yeah, Beaver Tom, what's up? This has got, bro, Beaver Tom. This has got to be the first time you're in my chats, which I appreciate. Okay. And by the way, if you're new here, yo, go ahead, hit that subscribe, like, all that kind of stuff, man, all that good stuff. But Beaver Tom, I'm glad you're in the chat, man, and happy to answer your question here. James Conner. Oh my God, 6 minutes ago, I got to burn. James Conner, Amari Cooper, Cortland Sutton. Um, James Conner. Yeah, James Conner here. I like the floor ceiling combination for James Conner. They lean on him a lot, and I think in this matchup, I think they will go at him quite a bit here. Thomas Leos, Fryermuth or Janu? Wow, you are hurting at tight end, dog. Go ahead and give me Jonnu Smith here, though. Fryermuth, I don't think is fully healthy yet. He's playing or whatever, but he doesn't look right. He doesn't look the same, dude. So go ahead and give me Jonnu. Full point PPR. Herbert versus the Ravens or Lawrence versus the Texans. Ravens have been playing such good football defensively, man. Give me T-Law. Go give me T-Law against the Texans in what I think is going to be a shootout, dude. So there you go. Tightest of all time. Here we go. Half point PPR, Ford or Nico. Jerome Ford or Nico Collins. Again, Ford's going to give you some floor. You know what? No, it's Nico. It's Nico because, again, when we start talking about floor in half PPR, he's going to give you 8 points. Nico's going to give you 8 points as a floor. I think that's the same kind of floor that Ford's going to see. That game feels like Cincinnati. It's going to be a lower scoring game. I think both teams probably going to play it closer to the vest here, a little bit conservative. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game at all. Go ahead. Go ahead and give me Nico. You're getting good floor, and the upside there is great too. Okay. All right, 4 minutes to go. Here we go. Marco Paragreco, Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, or James Conner versus the Rams. I like James Conner. By the way, the Rams have been sneaky tough against outside wide receivers, just FYI. Jeff Whiteley. You've got Dortch as a sleeper? There's other sleepers I like, man. Ahead of Greg Dortch. I'm not going to lie to you. If you want a deep sleeper, I like Jalen Hyatt. I know that Darius Slayton is going to play, but still, I like Jalen Hyatt as a deep sleeper. He's widely available. Khalil Shakir as a sleeper. I've got Rashid Shaheed as a sleeper against Atlanta. By the way, if you want a deep sleeper with upside, how about DJ Chark against Tennessee? Okay. Chark wasn't even targeted last week. All right. But if you want a sleeper, by the way, if you want like a anytime touchdown play here, how about DJ Chark? The Titans have allowed a double-digit outside wide receiver in every single game this year. Okay. 70% completion rate to the outside. That's the third worst in the NFL over the last 8 weeks. And again, Chark playing 75% of his snaps lined up outside. He does have 3 touchdowns this year. So anytime touchdown for DJ Chark, getting great odds. I kind of sort of like it against Tennessee. So yeah, man, let's go. Beaver Tom, you usually message me on Twitter. What's your at handle on Twitter, man? But yeah, I'm glad you're jumping into the chats here. So yeah, best tequila in my opinion. Dude, I'm not a great, first of all, I love tequila. Love it, love it, love it. I like Avion. Apparently, like tequila enthusiasts hate Avion. So maybe I'm just a basic bitch. I don't know. I don't know, but I love Avion. I do. Yeah, dude. Hey, listen, if you are in the deepest of leagues, bro, where you're playing Greg Dortch, yo, salute, man. What a deep league that must be. What a deep league that must be. We got 2 minutes left to go here. If there's any last minute questions that I can get to, I think Scotty D, I think I missed this question, right? Pickens, Rasheed Rice, or Tajay Spears to be cute. Give me Pickens. I think Pickens, they're going to try to, there's some reports that Pickens might get some heavier target share. Again, different play caller, all that kind of stuff. I think Pickens actually comes through for you this week. Yeah, I kind of sort of like him. So there you go. Give me Pickens. By the way, again, Cam Taylor-Britt out. That means something. That really means something, I think, in that matchup there. Pittsburgh taking on Cincinnati. All right, so where else are we going here, dude? I think I got to everything. I think. I don't know. If I miss something, I apologize, man. But hey, I appreciate you guys. Obviously, we're struggling through it today, playing hurt, but that's all good. I Last night I contemplated for about 5 seconds. I was like, maybe I don't do my stream on Sunday. And I was like, nah. God, yeah, dude, you got to power through, baby. You got to get up. You got to do it. You got to do this thing. You got to do it for the people. You got to talk to the people. You got to talk about sleepers. You got to talk about starts. You got to talk about sits. And that's why we're here. Obviously, I'm struggling through it today, but good luck to everyone out there, man. I hope you guys, score a lot of fantasy points, do all the stuff, win a bunch of money, playing DFS, gambling out there. I hope you guys do it all, man. Anyways, happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. Good luck to you all. And salute, man. And again, let's get these dubs, man. This is the part of the season. You got to get these dubs. I'm down bad in both fantasy and from a hungover state. Okay. I had to go up against Miami DST. I'm looking up against Raheem Mostert in that same league. I'm like, yo, I can't believe we're here. I got to try to get a dub. But yeah, man. Listen, good luck to everyone out there, man. And week 12, let's go. Let's go. I'll see you guys next week, man. Appreciate y'all. See ya. Peace.